Hi and welcome to Project Marlin. This video starts partway through because somehow I've lost some of the footage that I filmed. However, it's to do with the beginnings of stripping the cab out and looking at the state of the main structure of the cab and the floor. So we'll head straight into where my footage starts. So a bit more video of the floor. Obviously that main piece of framework there, although it's not a chassis, it's framework for the cab, that's going to have to be cut out and replaced. This panel here my foot's on is supposed to bolt in, but you can see it's all gone completely around that edge. It's quite bad there, and underneath all this lot it's all gone. It's gone up here, gone all along here, so there's not much holding this plate in. That piece of floor will be probably nearly as bad. I don't think it's quite as bad. I've taken the door card off this side to try and get the door open. Obviously you can see the bottom piece of the door is completely gone. Should be a piece of angle iron along here. This is completely gone. This isn't great. The door lock is, I still can't access it, so I'll have to cut the pin off from the outside, which is going to be a pain, which means that needs to be replaced. The actual door frame's gone down here. I need to get this door open to be able to have a look under, get this mat out easier and start working on this side of the cab. What else can I show you? Oh, if I'm rummaging. Now, if anybody recognises what that door handle might be from, I'd love to know. I suspect it'll be a Leyland or a Dennis or something like that. I'm hoping it's not specific to Northern Counties. On the back of it there's what appears to be an A cast into it. On here there's just an R and a 2 on the back of that, and the handle that sits in there, that doesn't have anything on it at all. But if you do recognise it, give us a shout, because I need to replace the this for the other side. This bundle of wires here were all connected to the intercom, which I assume would then loop off to the radio. I'll have to try and get some diagrams for it. It's a mess. Interestingly, the red button I've been wondering about was connected to these two wires, which goes into the back of the radio, so I'm assuming that is definitely a push to talk. This is the cable from the gearbox controller, so I need to look after that one, it's important. But we are sort of, I've got the go ahead now that I can start pulling everything apart, so hopefully over the next few days maybe we'll get the bulk of the inside of the cab out. So just having a look at behind the dashboard. Unfortunately nothing is multi-plugged. I didn't think it would be. There are some when they go off to the chassis. All of these are going to have to be labelled and gently threaded back through from the dashboard, which is going to be a nightmare. So I'm going to wait till I've got some labels. That pipe there is, I've just disconnected. More wires run through that way because there's a load of circuit breakers. A load more go through that way because there's more circuit breakers. And I think it's all going to have to be unwired piece by piece. I've also managed to remove the junction box cover, or the console cover here. I've actually disconnected, these are the two plugs for the gearbox. There's a load more wire in there which I don't know what it's for, but hopefully I'll find out as I trace everything. That wiring and that there is the ECU for the ABS. I've taken the screen wash bottle out just to get it out of the way. So this is on the left hand side. That is, I don't know if you can see anything under there. Oops, sorry about that. That's in one side of the console. This is in the other side, so the multi-plugs are there. And then obviously this is the side you've probably seen before. So we've got to sort out all of the wiring, all of the trunking, everything. Whoops. We've got all the circuit breakers here, and there's a twin of this panel on the other side that we're all going to have to be taken apart piece by piece. Wish me luck, please. So today, carrying on stripping the cab. Hope to take this seat out. Might be able to take this seat out, but I'll probably have to drop some air tanks to do that. Get this seat base out, and there's a load of bolts here going through the matting from old seats, so we'll try and get those out as well. Yeah, 2 different size bolts. That's a good start. We'll try that again. Apologise for the view of my back. We still haven't got this door open yet, and that's the only place we can get easily, but that's that out. That is all of these extra random bolts pretty much out, because I've not brought the hammer with me. There we go, that one's gone. Some of these are quite warm, surprisingly, or unsurprisingly. Obviously over the years this truck has been modified and changed quite a lot. We'll just put those out of the way there. It's had a few different sets of seats in. I believe this one might be an original. I was told that originally the cab was built for 3 seats. The driver's seat was a standard non-BA seat, and there were 2 BA seats built. I was told they were built from flat steel, and made from flat steel, and the fabric was made the same, which is why I think this might be an original. It's a shame we don't have 2 of them, because they could have gone back in with lap straps, and they would have been a lot nicer than the current seats. But yeah, unfortunately we don't have them, so yeah. Right, I'm going to try and get this seat out. This is going to be a lot more awkward. There's some ribs going that way underneath it, which make it hard to get to the bolts. Bolts at the front are going to have to be done maybe with a ratchet. It's going to be quite a difficult thing. Back one here I can do with a rattle gun. The one on the other side, I might try and hook a spanner on it and then go underneath and do that bolt from there, which I might do that first. Well, the good news is that worked. Also, I've managed to get the impact gun in a position where I can get it onto the back bolt on the front. Whether or not I can actually hold the nut with the bolt with a spanner and get the gun on at the same time is a different matter, but I suppose that's what we're going to try now. That's a big fat no. So I've just put the spanner in a position where it can hold, and I'll just nip underneath and quickly whip that bolt off as well, that nut off as well. The other 2 I should be able to do from up here. So it turned out it was easier to reach through from underneath with the spanner and stand underneath the wheel arch with the impact gun. So I've got all the bolts out now. I'm going to pick the seat up and I'm going to put it over there next to where the camera is at the moment, out of the way. I'm going to have a quick sweep off of this, and then I think it will be a case of having a go at trying to remove some of this matting, which is it's not a very easy task. I found the best way is basically to try and get one corner up, or find an edge that's a little bit loose, and pour solvent on it. I was trying to use a little bit of solvent and just get a little bit of movement, a little bit of solvent, a little bit of movement, but I've actually found out it's much better to just pour loads on it and heave it as hard as I can. The matting's ripping in places, but an awful lot of the matting wasn't going to be salvageable, and if we put a new matting in, it's probably better to put all new in rather than lots of bits of mishmash. I know where the matting came from. Hopefully I need to contact them, find out if this is that same place as where the edging came from as well, because that would be good to have it all matched up. Let's try and move this seat then. See, when the truck arrived, the roof was leaking, and this back hatch leaks when it rains, although no hatch in there, it's definitely going to leak, but it was letting water through. And also the roof hatch, part of the framework was damaged, so the roof hatch didn't shut, so there was quite a lot of water in the cab when we got it. Fixed the roof hatch, stuck some tape over the outside of the damage to the roof, and that reduced the water getting in the cab probably by about 80%. So we've had a number of these in to help dry the cab out. Now it's summertime, I don't think we need them. Well, it's not summertime, now it's spring and we've got some nice weather. Don't really need them, and these are finished anyway, they're no good. So we'll have to get some new ones. But hopefully by the winter we'll have a watertight cab, or if not we'll have it all sheeted up. Well, I've got the matting up off here. I've also removed this. This was originally a sight gauge that sat at the back of the cab. I say originally, it's what it was fitted for the foam tank. The truck originally didn't have this sight gauge. It's been a retrofit, I think, for when the electronic level sensor stopped working. I don't intend to refit a sight gauge in the cab. I'll get the electronic one working again. So I'm removing this. I believe this is the culprit for the reason I've got rust in this side of the cab at the back here. So I can't see any other reason for it. I think if the sight gauge was leaking, the foam fluid's quite corrosive, and it's all the damage is centred around where this came through the floor. So very briefly, I'll just show you how I've been getting the matting up. This piece of matting here needs to come up next. Where the corrosion is, it's been lifting. It's quite badly corroded here. Got some solvent in the pot, and it is purely a case of pouring a quantity of solvent down there, giving it a few seconds, and then as it debonds the glue, just pulling it. Now it's not debonding all of the glue. In places it's sticking down quite hard, and even the solvent isn't lifting it. So I've got a thick bladed scraper from B&Q, I've had for quite a long time. I've taken the flat wheel on the grinder to it, and I've ground a sharp edge on it. So using that and a lump hammer, I'm basically chiseling it away from where it's sticking. I'll turn the camera off now and I'll carry on with this, because it's not a wholly exciting job for you to watch. Right, so we've got this piece off. Oops, so daisy, I'm going to fall over in here. Where the gearbox controller lives. Close the door. This is the worst. Not showing. That's the worst bit in that corner. This is back by the window. It's not terrible. That is where the sight gauge used to come up, just to the left there. You'll see there's the back access panel. So this plate's not too bad. This one's pretty good. The next plate to look at is that one, which means we've got to take the air tanks off underneath. So underneath the truck at the moment, this air tank has to come off, and there's one, don't know if you can see, just behind it and higher up. So they're both going to have to come off. Then once they're off, I can access these two pipes up here, which is for the handbrake, and the bolts that hold the seat in. This is the underneath there. The plate's not looking great up there, but it's not as bad as it could be. Nearer the back I think it's more of a problem. Some of the other jobs I've got to do, hopefully this week, is I need to disconnect this line here. There's one on both sides, these are for the foam sprayers, and take these complete frames off. So if I disconnect the wiring for the spotlight, the horn and the step light, it's 4 bolts and a splash guard on this one. On the other one the splash guard's missing, and I can drop these off and I've got complete access to the bottom of the cab. I can even start looking at taking some of the side panels off. I think that's about all I can show you in here. There's obviously the other one. I've got a set of Stilsons, but unfortunately those pipes want to turn, so I need another spanner. So I'm waiting for that to turn up because I didn't have one big enough. So we've got the air tanks off. Got a lot more room under here now, so we can actually get to these bolts, get to the bottom of the handbrake a lot easier. The bolts back there. When we're doing the bottom of the cab, I might take the brake cylinders off the actuators and drop the entire cross member off, modulator valve and all, so that'll create a lot more space in there to get in. It might be that we can even drop that cross member out, but I think that's a fairly major one, so we probably won't do that. We'll see when it comes nearer the time. So now I'm going to try and get the seat bolts undone. Well, it's taken me a best part of 3 days, but we've got all of the floor matting out, all of the matting off, the facings. There's a couple of little bits trapped in places down there under the dashboard, but they'll come out when the things are up. It's only little snippets. It's all off around here. So tomorrow we'll have a clear out of the cab, sweep up. We'll start to take those panels out, and I'll start looking at the headlining coming out. However, that'll be for another video, I think. Yeah, it's been a lot of hard work. I hope I never ever have to take that matting, or any of that sort of matting out of anything ever again. It's been an absolute nightmare, but it's done now, so I think that's about that. Well, that just about wraps up for this video. It took us quite a while, as was mentioned. It was quite hard work. It was quite hot in the cab. Just one thing to note, apart from when we did a little bit of filming, when we were using the solvent, when I was using the solvent, I was wearing PPE. I had a fume mask on, because the stuff is quite unpleasant to be breathing all the time. We have our own new Project Marlin website. Would love you to go and have a look at it if you'd like. The web address is www.projectmarlin.co.uk. We've got some links to some merchandise that we're now doing, and we also have the start of some other project pages that are coming up. You'll also find a lot of the stats and information on the Marlin on there. It's still a work in progress, and we'll be adding to it over the next coming weeks and months. Thanks again for watching this video. If you've enjoyed the video, please click like. If you haven't already, please subscribe, and if you'd like to know when we upload new videos, click that bell icon. Would love to hear any of your comments down below, and we shall see you in the next video. Thanks a lot. Cheerio.